We're coming up on a quarter of the way through the year, through 2026, and it's time to do another monthly review. It feels to me as though my last one, the end of February one, was absolutely ages ago, but it was only just more than 4 weeks really. I think this is a really good thing, at least for me, because one of my big worries over the last few years really has been my perception of time. I can't really remember a lot of the last 5 years, and it seems as though it's just sped past, but now that I'm doing a lot more with my free time, so it's not just work, drink, sleep, repeat every day, I'm doing more, particularly with this YouTube channel, and my other various goals. I'm trying to follow them. I'm really happy with how things are going. But this is a monthly review, so let's talk about it. I actually listened back to one of my old videos before this, which is pretty rare for me. I really don't like how YouTube counts your own views as views, because it kind of skews it in my mind how many views my videos have got, but I know I shouldn't be focusing on that. I should just enjoy the process and get on with things. One thing I find, now this is a tangent already before anything started, is that I really don't mind listening to my own voice. Whenever I bring up online content creation or anything to my colleagues, the very first thing they say is how they hate hearing themselves, their own voice, but it really doesn't matter to me that much. I think it's because I just don't really speak that much in general outside of these videos, so I haven't got much of an idea in my head as to what I'm supposed to sound like. But so when I hear myself, it's like new and refreshing for me, and I quite like it. But I digress. So let's go over my previous goals and the progress I've made with them, my modest goals. First, my morning routine, and I've really nailed it this month. Every day I've gotten up at least 4:30 a.m, sometimes earlier, and last Sunday, so on the 29th, it was very much earlier in the sense that I was trying to get up early to get to the gym to get my session in before the Formula 1, which starts at 6 in the morning. So I set my alarm to get up at 4 a.m. I didn't realise though until afterwards that the clocks had gone forwards. It's that time of the year where you lose an hour's sleep. So in some respects I got up at 3 a.m. to go to the gym, and I didn't really have any negative effects from that at all. I just cracked on with it, watched the race, found out, and was just shocked. But it's going pretty well. I'm going to keep with the 4:30 a.m. I think, and I'm finding I've got plenty of time to get things done, so there's no issue there. Moving on to the gym though, things have been progressing, well, very slowly. I haven't made any major progress. I am quite happy with the fact that I've not missed any sessions. I go 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, with Sunday being my favourite day because of how peaceful it is. But I've still been nursing this frustrating groin injury, so I've made very, very little. In fact, pretty much no progress when it comes to legs, just maintaining things. I'm happy to say though I'm doing very well with my overhead press, so that's at 50 kilograms now, which was actually my goal for the year. So yeah, I'm not sure what I should aim for next. It's becoming my favourite lift, to be honest, even though it's the one that, out of the barbell power lifts, it's the one that's, well, it's the one where you lift the least. But how about I try and aim for 60 kilograms now by the end of the year? I'll update that goal. Everything else I've been progressing very, very slowly with. Because I am an old man now, a millennial, I'm trying not to get injured, so I'm just being very careful with my progression. When it comes to my weight though, my weight hasn't changed at all, so that's an unfortunate thing, but it hasn't gotten any worse, I suppose. I still have the target for 88 kilograms by the end of the year, and I'm sure I'll be able to hit it. I just need to make slow and steady progress. Some days I'll do well with my diet and exercise, some days I'll slip up. But as long as the days that I do well are more numerous than the bad days, then I think things will be okay. I'm very happy to say, though, that I still haven't drunk any alcohol yet this year. I don't even think about it that much anymore. Over Christmas I was bottling up some homebrew, so that was a hobby of mine last year, winemaking. I made a load of cherry mead, and I've got 8 bottles of it just underneath my stairs, just maturing away. And until someone brought it up recently, I'd completely forgotten about it. Back in my alcoholic days, I would have probably completely polished that off a few days after bottling it up. I wouldn't be able to wait for it to mature and age. And I plan on just using these as some nice gifts for people, but I'm fairly sure that unless something drastic happens, I should be able to complete my goal of not drinking this year. If I feel like it, maybe I'll have a few beers over Christmas, but last time that happened I was very disappointed in myself, but we'll see. So, on to finance then. I didn't get into regular cryptocurrency purchases as I suggested I would try last month, but with the way the markets are going, they're pretty much, well, they're not doing great at the moment. Because of all the stuff going on in the world, perhaps the uncertainty and such, they're either going sideways or downwards. So I'm not letting that affect my overall strategy of buying a bit every single month. I think that's a good thing to do, but I haven't increased my buying at all at the moment. In some way, perhaps that's not a good attitude because, the argument is now everything's on sale, now is when you should buy things. But I'm just trying to keep things steady at the moment and focusing on having a large enough emergency fund in case anything goes terribly wrong. Because I've cut back on the drinking, I have a bit of extra money every month to put away, and I just put that in a high interest savings account, and I'll keep an eye on that, how that's doing. But otherwise I think my portfolio is basically the same value as it was at the end of last month, even with the contributions I've made. But that's not bad. These are something you're in for the long run, so if you're in a similar situation, don't worry about it, don't keep looking at it. But of course, I'm not a financial expert, I'm just a guy who's following random pieces of advice he hears online. But yeah, that leads me on to my next goal then, and that's this channel in general. And this month has been a bit different, well, very different from the previous month, in that things have been a lot less structured for me. I've just been making videos of things that have come to my mind and things that I've wanted to talk about in general. Previously, it was a video a day about either a topic I found on a previous guide or that had been generated randomly or something along those lines. So it feels a lot less structured, and I feel a lot more pressure when I'm making these videos. Like, I still get unbelievably nervous before I start a recording. I don't really know why, because, well, this is a tiny channel. Very few people will even be listening this far into a video, and the main goal of this is to get more practice, to learn the skills, to be able to present. But despite all of this, I am learning a lot, especially now I've started actually listening to my videos days later, weeks later, just to see my progress, and it's been very interesting. One thing I've noticed that I don't do very well is pronouncing my T's in a lot of words. So I'm originally from the southwest of the UK. It's perhaps comparable to the stereotypical deep south person in the US. So we're all seen as a bunch of hicks or bumpkins, and we don't pronounce words correctly. But I would like to try and be a bit more understandable, And like I said, I do quite like the sound of my voice when I listen back to these videos, particularly when I sound somewhat posh, the accent I picked up from Oxford. One thing I've been investigating has been, well, how can I use AI to my advantage when making these videos? Because I'm a boomer, well, I'm a millennial, but with very old person attitudes towards things, I am very skeptical about using AI in the creative process. I really don't want to use it to replace things that I would otherwise be doing, only to enhance what I'm doing, really. I do get this feeling that those who aren't using it will somehow struggle in the future, in the sense that if all other successful people are using it, then you're kind of going to fall behind. When AI first came out, well, to the general public, I kind of saw it in my mind as similar to perhaps how the internet first came out, when, let's say researchers were using libraries and reading actual physical journal articles, when they were doing research. There would be these new and upcoming researchers who were suddenly using Google to find research papers, large numbers of research papers that would otherwise take ages to scour libraries to find, then copy down perhaps, or photocopy, or something along those lines. That's kind of how I saw it at the start, and I still do see it that way. If you're not using it, then things that you would otherwise be able to do manually, it could do them in a somewhat automated way, and just get back the time that you would otherwise spend on these monotonous tasks, and allow you to use this time for more useful work, So what I've been using it for recently has been for generating the chapters of videos, because I'm really, really bad at that. I'm sure I could read through the transcript and listen through the video several times and find the timestamps, put them together, that sort of thing, and generate the chapters. The tags as well. I don't think they're that important these days when it comes to SEO or search engine optimization, but I guess there's no downside to putting them in. Unless YouTube is like, hang on a second, you're using AI here, we're going to ban all your videos. But I never really would use it for the description, for writing the skeletons of my scripts. I've tried some scripts. I don't really enjoy reading them. I enjoy just babbling, but I struggle to keep on topic. But anyway, I think I've waffled on for long enough about this. This was only supposed to be like a 5-minute video, and I had it planned out in my head, but you know how it goes. Whenever I try and make a concise video, once I lose my nerves and finally get comfortable, it's easy to just chat for ages. But I'm going to continue with my goals for this year, slowly progressing and seeing how I end up at the end of the year. And these videos will be very helpful and very interesting to look back on, where I was. But thanks for listening otherwise, and I'll see you in the next one.